Hi, we're looking at the back of the 67 GTO. I was feeling like a grabbing in the rear of the car every once in a while on road tests, and took a temperature reading on the wheels, and this right rear showed significant higher temperatures. So I was going to look at it to see if there was any problem with the brake shoes, wheel cylinder maybe leaking, to find the issue. The good news is the brakes are in okay condition. The problem, unfortunately, there's a bunch of metal. It's kind of hard to see, but in the video, but there's a bunch of metal collected on the different parts here. You can kind of see it shining a little bit. The drum was full of metal shavings, and I found the problem. The problem is the axle wheel bearing, which is located. Grab a flashlight real quick. The wheel bearing is located back here where all this metal shavings are, back in here, and it's right where that shaft is. So see if I can get the focus there. There we go. Right there is the behind that retainer is a bearing. You have to pull the axle out and press the bearings on and off, off and then on the new ones. But here's the problem. This thing should not be moving up and down, and this is because there's so much play in the bearing. The bearing is completely wiped out, and it's causing significant movement in the axle. So whenever this bounced up and down, it would hit the drum would hit the shoes and cause that feeling like you're braking in the back when you're not, because of this excessive play right here. So the solution will be to pull the axle out, put a new bearing on it, a new axle seal, and then check. We're going to want to check the rear end oil to see the condition for replacement. If the metal shavings are on the outside of the drum, they can be on the inside as well. So that means that the oil may have metal filings in it. We want to get that out so that it doesn't mess up the rear end gears and cause premature wear there. The other issue is right here. This is your drive shaft where it connects to the rear end, and there's a seal right there. That seal is leaking, and it's possible that that was part of the problem as well. If you have the rear end oil is leaking out of the back of the car, then or dripping on the ground, then you don't have any lubrication for the parts in there. Now that's mainly for the rear end. The bearings are sealed. They don't need any oil on them, but they do stay cool with the grease and lubrication in there. So you want to have good seals on it so that it doesn't let oil get onto the shoes. Of course, a new bearing is going to remove all the sloppiness that's in this axle, and then we'll put this all back together. Put the new seal on the ends here. The seals go on the end of the axle, and then the seal up in the pinion of there. We'll fix that, and then we'll put some new rear end gear oil in it, and that should get you down the road. Again, I emptied a lot of filings out of the drum. The drum seems to be okay. It's hard to say if it's warped from the up and down movements or the heat that was generated from having an off-center point. This is basically supposed to stay in the dead center, and when it doesn't, it causes issues because it's bumping up against the shoes, and then it causes a heat condition. So I'll get everything put back together. I'll put some. I'll redo the surfaces here on the drum, clean up the shoes, get all the filings off of this, clean it up, put it all back together. That should get you down the road. Check the other side as well, on the driver's side, and it does not show any metal filings at this time, and there's no movement up and down on the axle. I don't see any oil coming from the seals at this time. Normally I would recommend that you do both sides because if one side fails, it's going through the same amount of wear and as the opposite side. So at this time, I would recommend, just to prevent a road failure where you're on the side of the road because the rear end locks up, this would definitely be one of those situations where I'd say do both sides of the bearing so that you know that both are new and you're ready to go down the road. This is Manny with Classic Auto Repair. Thanks for watching.